What's up, guys? Chris here from Northwoods Lures, and just wanted to put together a real quick video for you. I get asked from time to time, what's the best airbrush for painting lures? What would you recommend for a beginner? I'm going to go over some of my favorite airbrushes, also some of my not so favorite airbrushes that I've used. I own about 7. I pulled out 4 or 5 just to discuss with you. So we'll start there. So the first airbrush I started with was an Iwata Neo. And the Iwata Neo is a lower end airbrush that's not actually made by Iwata. You can find it at Hobby Lobby or on Amazon, and I think it's around $70. And for that price, I don't recommend it. There's a lot of other airbrushes that are a lot better. So the Neo looks like this. You can see it says Neo for Iwata, meaning that it's not made by Iwata, but it's got a very similar setup. The trigger isn't the same, and it has a removable cup, but it's not the greatest, to be honest. I used it for a while, and you know, for learning, it was okay. You learn how to deal with clogs and tip dry pretty quickly, which all airbrushes will suffer from. But it's not the greatest airbrush, and for $70, to be honest, I would not recommend it. So I wanted to show you that first. So once I was using that for a while, I only used it for a month or two, and decided to get something different. And so several years ago, I upgraded to the Badger Patriot 105, which is around a $100 airbrush. What's cool about this airbrush is a couple things. It's easy to get the different size needle nozzle combinations, and with that you can pretty much do all different spray patterns with just one airbrush. So you've got the medium needle, which has got the silver ball, you've got the fine needle, which has got the blue ball, and you've got the extra fine needle, which has got the black ball at the end. I think I'm accurate about that. I may be wrong, but I know I have all 3 sizes, and I put this airbrush through a lot of heavy use. It's pretty well built. It doesn't have the tightest tolerances. A nice thing is you can remove the needle without taking the handle off. That's pretty neat. You know, the nozzle head, it's got that exposed needle, so the needle tip's always exposed, no matter what. Which doesn't really matter to me too much, because I usually take the little extension that is the needle protector. I usually take that off because I feel that it gets in the way of spraying and removing dried paint from the tip. But Patriot 105s are around $100. You can find them on Spray Gunner. You can find them on Amazon, and they're okay, right? Not terrible. I wouldn't say it's nearly as bad as the Iwata Neo, but what I will say is there's better options out there. So the best airbrush for lure painting all around, if we're talking about under $300, I would say is the Iwata Eclipse HP-CS. It's pretty much the gold standard. Does a great job of spraying everything from ultra fine detail to relatively large spray patterns. It's got a 0.38 needle nozzle, which is a great size in my opinion. It's well built, and you can get replacement parts very easily for it, for the most part. Everything from the needle packing screw inside to different needles, nozzles, tips, triggers, springs, all of that stuff. And so this is a great airbrush. This can be found on Amazon, and I think it's around $200, either a little over or a little under $200. But it's a great airbrush. This is like my go-to airbrush. But recently, I wanted to try out some other airbrushes, and so another Japanese company is this CREOS company that makes these CREOS airbrushes, and these are made in Japan. And this is the CREOS PS-289 Platinum. It's got a 0.3 needle nozzle, which is that great smallish medium-sized needle, and it does a fantastic job of spraying. I've got to say, it's got some of the smoothest action I've ever experienced. Just everything on it is great. It's got tight tolerances. What makes this one a little unique is it's got this air up system, which allows you to fine tune the amount of air pressure leaving the airbrush. So that's in addition to you using the knob on your compressor to set your PSI. You can fine tune it, and I absolutely love that. And I apologize about the annoying dogs in the background. But So this here is a fantastic airbrush, and I am shocked by how great this airbrush is for under $100. You can find these on Spray Gunner right now, I think for like $75, $80, which is about the same price as that Neo, and it's just fantastic. I also loved it so much that I picked up the PS-270, which is the same airbrush but with the .2 needle, so a little bit finer detail. I'm astounded by these airbrushes. These CREOS airbrushes, if you're looking to spend $100 or less, this is the airbrush. Look no further. This is the best airbrush for under $100 that you can get for lure painting. I would recommend the .3 to start, and if you want something to do even finer detail and stencil work, then move to the .2. But just wanted to share that with you. Fantastic product. Can't go wrong. Hit up spraygunner.com. Leave a comment if you have any questions or need to inquire about opinions on stuff. This is my website if you want to check out some cool custom painted lures and tight lines.